Hello and welcome back to the Tumbleweed channel. We are going to follow a lower bracket match this time. The first lower bracket match against To the Second and Ale. I might join the Discord a bit later if there are people online to discuss, but for now it will just be me. So To the Second is a relatively new player, um, but who is already playing some decent tumbleweeds. And her opponent is Ale Tapal, who is, as I said in the previous match against Hudi, Ale is a pretty good player from Little Golem, with some experience over the last year. So although this is lower bracket, I am expecting yeah, I'm expecting a high quality game. Um, this is the orthodox b2 f7, which, well, people have played to the death on size 6. Uh, but on size 8, it really um, is underplayed, I think. It is a good buy. It's just it's fallen out of style. On size 6, there are some problems for reds. Like, I actually think that it's better for white, and so do a few people. But on size 8, um, it feels like red has maybe more possibilities of curling around the center. Usually, what happens is white gets something solid in the center, and if white can sort of connect to the side or like make something big in the center, as we saw in the Florian versus Frasco game, then white is okay. But yeah, I do feel that on size 8, there's more possibility for red to do things. This is already a bit unusual. Usually the move is I7. I7, then J9 to try to get control over this G7 spot, then F6 to gain back control of the G7 spot for white, which is really important because you want to keep control of the center. But this is not where we're gonna get. We are gonna get something a bit more exotic, but something that I have seen actually. Well, it hasn't been published, but I actually there might be something that I recorded with Shinoito yesterday, where we played against the bot, and the bot played this move. I think it's a very tricky move. There's an idea here that usually this one would be attackable, but the problem here is that, like, imagine if you didn't have the neutral here. Then you could play here, but then okay, of course with the shield, but you could attack and then I don't know. Well, try something. I mean, I don't know if it's the best thing, but you could try doing some things. But because of the neutral, this one is actually pretty safe. That's a pretty good idea. Um, and it has to be a little bit tricky to deal with, for sure. Um, I think I would do the same thing. G7 feels like a good way to get control over the center. This kind of idea where you're sort of protected by the neutral, I feel like it often ends up working for both parties, where here this white stack on G8 is protected by the neutral. I mean, it's helped by the neutral, but the red 2 stack is also protected by the neutral because it basically the weaknesses of the twos are on their shoulders. So this and this, and the fact that there's a neutral here means that red doesn't have to worry about this one. And the other one is controlled. So we get this. Then Ale plays a move which I think is very reasonable. D7. And this move pre-parries f7. So he adds a second defender to f7. And now if red attacks, then white can nicely expand with a parry. So this is not going to happen. And it is nice to see that it's not going to happen. So now, okay, now we are... I mean, this position is interesting. Red is going to have a little bit of an access on the left with this move, which takes advantage of this. Of course, there is no parry because there's only one defender on this g8 stack. So I'm expecting this. This is probably the best move because since you can't parry, the only possibility at the moment is to shield. And you have a couple of nice shields. You can shield here, but it's only a 1, so it's going to get captured. It's maybe playable, but if you want to play a solid shield, you can play here, here, or here. And usually I feel it's good to play the shield that covers the most space and like sort of expands the most. So I'm expecting d8, and yeah, d8 was played. We get the shield that is expected. We get the shield that is expected. I mean, that I expected, for sure. Now I feel like it's an important moment. Red has to decide what to do. So one thing that you probably don't want to do is you don't want to attack this 1 again. You don't want to attack g8 again, because now there are 2 defenders. So white could have a powerful response, a parry with an attack, which would be too good. Okay, so e5 was played, which I think is a good move. So let's try to see, to get a little bit of an idea of what's happening. You have a line here and a line here that intersect, so you can play a 2 on e11. I'm just drawing the lines into the bottom for red. You have this line here, and you can see that it would be good if red had some access to the bottom, just as a threat, because on the other hand, you have white. White has a bit of a less stable position on the side. It's very stable in the center. But white has some access to the top. So maybe later when white has other lines coming from here, then it will be a little bit better for white than for red. So red has to, I feel like red has to play a move like this one that was just played, and then probably figure out a way to access the right side, or maybe consolidate the top a bit. I mean, there's a bunch of options. I feel like one really important thing to do with red in this opening is to not play too much in one area. You want to solidify, but also you want to expand on the side of it. So then what happened is that Ale played a move here to block this line of sight into the bottom, which makes complete sense. And I think Ale's plan is good. To try to, I mean, he's maybe a little bit over concentrated, but it's a solid position and it's completely fine. Maybe it would have been slightly better to block from here, but actually no, that would be a blunder, I think, because then red can play this. Then what do? Do you capture and then cut? That's kind of annoying. I mean, that's playable, I think, but no, it's definitely bad. I should refrain from suggesting moves like this without reading. Yeah, I think that's bad. Yeah, I think Ali's move is good. Ali's move is good. there is still something like this now. This maybe better. Attacking this one. But the problem is if you keep attacking, then you're gonna give stuff to your opponents. Like if you do that, then shield. There's gonna be something on the right. Hmm. I think this is a good move. It looks very low, but it is the same idea of attacking this one here. And now I guess there is a shield, but this expands so much, and this is good expansion into the right. Now, instantly, the thing that I'm a little bit worried about for red is that red might be a bit thin later. For now, it's not a problem, but the links are very, very big. It's good expansion for sure, but it's just something to be mindful of. Like, for example, if there's a tube here, then I think pretty much like, not immediately, but I want red to play some solidifying move. Something like this, where you get a wall here, and you don't have the usual weakness of a wall, which is the end of a wall, as usually the weak spot, because you have this neutral here. That really helps G7. So I think that's probably a good game plan for red. You have this link on the left, and you have good control over the right. And yeah, I think you have potential. Yeah, potential to get good in game here at least, if not more, and potential for expansion in the bottom, even though it's a little bit awkward because you only have the lines spanning from this one here. I mean, this might not happen, but if it happens, I will come back to this position. It feels like definitely feels like an important position. Okay, I'm expecting this shield. We could also get the other shield, but I don't think it's as good. I don't think it's as good. Let me check quickly if I'm not being a snob to some people in the Discord. Well, there's no one in general. Well, I think it's fine. Okay, that's okay. You know what? I like that. It is a cool idea. Yeah, I think that's much better than h9. I still think maybe e6 is better, but I'm not sure because e6 provokes what we saw with f6. But this move in the game, the good thing to me is that it sticks out a little bit of this area and starts to see something on the top. For now, you don't have a 2 here, but there are some very natural moves that can be played by white on the left, where then you're going to get the line here, and this line is going to be important. So let me draw a line, because that is my recent new passion, drawing lines. Whoops, that's the wrong kind of line. There we go. This line here. This line here is probably going to be important later. It would be, Ali's last move would not be as good, in my opinion, if red had a way to attack it while blocking here a bit more severely. I don't know if that's severe enough to be completely honest. I might have missed that move. That is a problem, maybe. I think it's probably the best move. I mean, it is inducing some shield, which could be annoying. But probably you want to attack this one. I'm not completely sure. I think the line is not such a problem for now. But of course, if this one on the right was a bit closer, like here or something, and you could attack like here, then the white one wouldn't be such a good move. But because the one is far away, it's actually kind of hard to attack severely. This is not super severe. Okay, I really think this can be good. Maybe you block then, but then you can be annoying. You can be annoying as white. Oh, but you can still play that. Then you play a three, something like that. I don't know. It just you can handle it. Um, but for sure, red can attack it, and that's a good move. I mean, it seems like a good move to me, for sure. Yeah, I think both players are playing pretty well for now. I would give a slight advantage to red, but the advantage is dependent on the conversion of the advantage, because I do think that the position is a little bit more risky for red. For now, it's fine. For now, it's fine, but then later, I sort of want to investigate the different shields. I don't know if I'm going to get the time. This shield is probably good. This shield is probably a problem, actually. Because if you play naturally, then capture. Okay, maybe you have this. Okay, maybe you're fine. Uh, then you close, or maybe you take even. Oh, you take, yeah, yeah. Okay, that looks. In my mind, getting the neutral captured would be bad. Like letting white capture the neutral. I mean, that would be a bad thing. Uh, because the neutral is uh, red's protection. But I really think that playing h7 is pretty much the only move. I really hope. I mean, it's not the only move because you can play a similar kind of move where you play g6, which is a good move. I think maybe g6 is the only move. You can even play. No, you can't play. Okay, thought you could play something else, but you can't. You can't play j. It's a bit dubious to play j8 maybe. Oof. I don't know how. Well. Ooh, okay. I think this is a bit risky. It was maybe a time where it was better to play something like g6 or h7 and solidify a bit, because now red is pretty sparse. Not that it's super bad, but it can become really bad pretty fast. That is very dangerous. Okay, I think Ale had this thing here. Now it's complicated. Maybe you can, maybe you are happy with this because there's no parry, I guess. Maybe you are happy with this as red, but it was usually attacking the one that's defended twice is a no-no, uh, unless you've really calculated that you're fine, yeah, because the parries are super risky. This shield is good, but it's probably too passive compared to what you could get from a parry elsewhere. This idea from before was sort of a really uh, offensive parry, but you can probably play more reasonable parries like this one. And then maybe you close, but yeah, maybe the result is not so bad, but it is sort of inviting trouble. You play here, but then I guess you still have this f6, which is pretty much with initiative. Yeah, yeah, that's what was played. Okay, pretty nice. Well, this f6 now is actually not as good in this position because it doesn't attack. The thing, okay, did I miss? Let's just so attack. Then no, wrong attack. The other attack would have been maybe a little bit better. I think attack, protect, and then attack. Well, Now I feel like as red, you don't want to panic. Like this is completely fine. You just have to like do something like g6, and if you get captured, you can take. Um, you probably won't get captured. You will get parried, but then maybe what do you do? Ooh, I am not sure that I like that. Well, maybe it's not so bad. Oh, well, that's a little bit risky. It might be fine. So, of course, this is not good for whites. I mean, not super good. So, as white, you probably want to parry first, which is what I'm expecting Ale to do. You even have a sick parry here. Um, then maybe you can shield. That's a good parry, but that's not as good as you can get, I think. Oh, that's actually almost as good as you can get. I think it's still better to attack the right, but I get why he attacked the left. It is really a shame that red did not close a bit before. It would have been a bit cleaner because now it's gonna get eaten a bit. Um, because this is not solid until I mean until or unless red defends by reinforcing on the G7. But I feel like here you want to throw in a shield. It's maybe bad, but I don't know. Can you use this one for something? Do you want a shield here? I mean, it's kind of risky. You want to preserve your connection, so I'm really not sure. Maybe you play. Maybe you play. Yeah, okay. So she played the shield here, which makes sense. Makes complete sense. It also controls J8, which I think is a good idea. Yeah, so now, okay. Of course, white, I mean, the idea was not to save things, probably. The idea was just to use the one and delay the capture. And this is good enough for that purpose. So now there are actually no shields for this one. There's a shield for this one, but I'm not sure what you want to do. Okay, this is looking pretty close, to be fair. This is looking like a close game. It's probably going to be an influence game. There might be some fighting on the right or something. But I think white is solid on the left. White is going to cut a bunch of stuff. I think that this is going to be probably an interesting, instructive rest of the game. So let's think about like potential ideas. Okay, that's pretty good to make use of this. Yeah, I think it's very good because there was also M8 that I think white could have played, and it was pretty bad. I mean, maybe it was okay. Can you shield? Yeah, you can shield, but then you get cut. Is that good for who? That's a mystery that we will not solve right now because it did not happen. But I think it was pretty severe. If red can connect, then it's actually not that severe. But yeah, actually, that's it. This is good for red. I was expecting the getting a white group on the side to be a bit better. Um, so maybe this was not such a threat, but it was definitely a threat after the white move on the left. Like if you spend time, let's say you spend time to defend here, then really, I mean, taking is big, but um, also doing that is probably big. Maybe this is always a counter. Maybe you need to take before. So now to the second didn't give Ale the opportunity to take, and just uses this. That's good, making use of J12 before it dies to get something nice. This 3 is probably a good move, actually, to solidify the bottom. It is a little bit overkill, maybe, but I'm wondering if taking was not just better, because now you still have some agi for like some potential for later problems that red can some problems that red can throw. I think the game is slightly red favored, but it really depends on this kind of game is always hard to predict because there are big moves on the side, and the player that gets them first is going to have a better game. I am wondering if so. Of course, I think you maybe can capture. I mean, it is completely sente, but does it give white too much? Because this capture on the bottom gives this line going into the left, which I don't super like, and also it gets rid of the agi. Yeah, agi being well, potential nefarious use later for people that don't play Go. Yeah, it is a little bit. Because what do you gain? You gain 1 point with tempo, but like probably lose more than 1 point by getting rid of this line. I mean, actually forcing uh, white to take a move later to capture this is probably a good idea. I mean, not that the capture is bad. If she plays the capture, I think it's fine. But there's better stuff for sure. Like you can play a 3 here, which looks pretty good. Okay, what does that do? What is this? That's a fancy move. What is this doing? I mean, there's a good idea, I think, but it's a little bit deep fried. I don't know. I mean, what is the threat? I think I sort of see the idea, but it's kind of a multi-threat thingy. I don't know how much I like it. So let's say white plays the natural move here. What's the catch? Gives you a 2 here, which is a big endgame move. And it gives you a 3 here. Okay. It gives you a bunch of moves here. In any case, Ali played this. Wow, that's... I'm a bit lost, but I feel like it's not bad. It is pretty awkward now for red to use. Yeah, to attack this. What do you do? How do you make use of these two 1 stacks that are gonna unfortunately perish? Oh, this is a weird orthodox game, but I guess it's not an orthodox game. Like it's not a game that is very typical of this opening, and the reason is um, that on move 2, white played something different from what is usually played. I want to draw arrows, but I don't know. I don't know if it's super useful. I think the most important thing is to figure out how this stack is going to get used. I guess there's a 2 stack here that blocks white into the top side. You can you can play this three, which I think was a good move. I think it's a good move because then it blocks, like white has no access through here. Um, and as red, you only need, so you need this. Wait, maybe this is a good opportunity for drawing. I'm happy. Um, maybe red needs, okay, so if red gets this, then probably red only needs this to win. Or a bit less, maybe. So I think it's not a decent, it's not decent, it's not a terrible idea to play m8 and to play a bit solid. Because I think as red, you are ahead. And you have a lot of, so you're ahead in influence. I mean, don't look at the score. The score is overestimating because of the future dead stacks in the white territory. But I think red is ahead in terms of influence. Uh, maybe it's not crushing by any means, but it's just ahead. Um, and yeah, it's reasonable to solidify a bit. I think that's probably what you want to do. I will erase my drawing. Goodbye. Okay, what do you do? What do you do? I feel like this is good. I mean, white could have taken. I think it was better. White could have taken, and now you don't have this move with initiative. Because being able to close like this with initiative is so good. It is so good. I mean, there's this, but it gets instantly attacked. And even if white is somehow able to pull like something, uh, like I think this is solid enough. Like, what are you gonna do with these? I mean, this looks super solid for red. Well, for white, if I was white, I would hope to do something severe on top and on the right, ideally. Fortunately, it is red's turn. After that, what would I do? Maybe this. Get this, and like at least this is not an attack, so then you can maybe keep the initiative. You do that. Maybe, maybe that. Okay, so am I definitely completely behind, or what is happening? I am definitely completely behind. That tends to happen. Okay, I am not completely behind. I'm just one move behind. Okay, I feel like this is an overplay by red. I feel like this is an overplay. In this situation, just simplify the game, play m8, and uh, yeah, make yourself comfortable for a peaceful end. But okay, red is sort of asking for trouble. What does this move do? Yeah, that's okay. White is doing something, and now red really needs to close the right. Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be terrible otherwise. I mean, red has some control over there. Like actually, if you look at the possible white moves, there's this one maybe. Yeah, that does seem pretty bad actually. Like this and shield here. I feel like that's a little bit overplay. But it's not bad. Wait, where did? Oh no, I just passed. Never mind. Okay, okay. This is leaving a giant hole on the right. There is an idea, um, but white can cut. This might get a bit ugly on the right. I am really not sure. I'm really not sure if red is fine. think it's a good opportunity for white to jump in, because white has to jump in. Like if I was white, I would be worried about the right. So what do you do? Yeah, shield doesn't do anything. I guess you maybe you try to close somehow. Yeah, maybe you sacrifice something. Yeah, you just sacrifice a bunch of stuff and then you retreat a bit and you try to maintain this connection here, but then you lose N9. Am I still behind? Maybe not. Maybe not. This has the potential to be a really sharp position. Okay, that's a cut. I am not sure if it's as severe as the other one, but maybe. Maybe. It's sort of the same idea. So now, what do you do? Now I mean, as red, you played with fire. So now you have to figure out how you are going to find the fire extinguisher. Um, I mean, I think, yeah, both players are playing interesting ideas. It's kind of a back and forth of like, I felt like maybe Ale was a bit too passive in the game against Hootie. I mean, Hootie did some really good attacks, but maybe Ale was too passive in that game. And now it's good to see that Ale is a bit more aggressive with his strength in the middle. So I'm expecting takes. I'm expecting takes. It seems like the only move takes. Now the problem is this red center is a complete house of cards. Of course, as always, I mean, as often, there is damage control to be made. You can just make a 3 on h6, for example, which I think is what I would play. Now the problem is your connection on the right is a bit thin. Like you have a bunch of lines of sight. You have a bunch of lines of sight. Let me draw something. You have these lines that go into the right. And well, it's good that there's no white stacks around here, because otherwise you would have lines coming from the left as well. But I do feel like red is gonna have to try to connect at some point. I think the connection is impossible. But okay, I feel like that's not good enough. The problem is, I mean, it depends. It's a choice. Like honestly, it's a choice. Do you want to keep something high as red in the middle? I think you want it to. But maybe you don't have to. The thing is, I think red is trying. So red has some good ideas, but red is trying to get all the points. I mean, not all the points, but like many points, and you only need 85 to win. You can let white have the bottom. So I feel like this kind of stuff was not needed. Let me explain once more the idea of letting. Yeah, because it's okay. Red played this. The thing is, if you, I'm gonna draw again. If you let white have, let's say you let white have. That's a bit wishful thinking now, but you let white have like this. Everything south of this. Then white loses the game. Like you win the game. So there is no need to do something in the bottom. And a move like L14, while useful, at some point, I'm sure it will be useful at some point. But when you play these moves in the enemy territory too early, or instead of playing solidifying moves that are needed, then by nature your opponent is going to play like here and is going to get a bunch of lines of sight uh, into your border, and the border of your territory is going to be weakened, and I feel like it's usually not worth it. But then you have to be able to recognize as reds that you are winning, and it's sometimes not easy, especially when you're the one playing. I have to reiterate that it is always easier to be a nice commentator without pressure, just uh, just watching the game. There were a couple of moves. Yeah, I think this is maybe good by whites for solidifying reasons, because red is gonna have trouble fixing the shape. I still think it's worth it to play something like h6 at some point. I mean, it would be a shame to not get enough um, on top. This is okay. This is a use of this L14 stack, but this is really small. This is second line territory. I mean, it's okay, but it's just you have way more points like here and here, like on the at the points where um, the two zones of influence meet, and um, and the shape is completely collapsing in the center, which is a calculation by red. I'm expecting red has sort of given up on a bunch of the center. I feel like this is a good move to gain control of the O line, actually, to prevent any funny business by white on the first line. Yeah, okay. So now I feel if you're red, it is hard, but you have to recognize that it is not worth it to defend this. It does not feel worth it. Uh, just play this. Just play I6. Block the line of sight. Parry. Okay, well that's I feel like that's the wrong shape. You could have parried. It's yeah, now it's gonna be some trouble. I mean, you're gonna be able to use the. So what do you do? Everything is collapsing. Yeah, this is a shape problem in the middle. Um, I think red underestimated, like overestimated the solidity maybe of their shape. It's too bad because it was one move from being pretty solid, to be honest. Like if you take this move, then it's actually completely different. You can just make a four or something. I don't know. Yeah, then you actually don't need to answer, and this holds quite a bit better. Maybe you can still do it. Like it's okay, but it is an accuracy in defense. Takes, yep. And then what do you do? Two here. Do you have a three? I feel like you want to start. Yeah, white is going to. Yeah, this is. I feel like this is a classical case of red being in too many places at once, which, to be fair, was kind of the theme as well yesterday in the Frasco game. Frasco versus Florian. Um, and Frasco managed to do really well despite, in spite of that. But I I I feel like as red, you just want to take the more comfortable game, and you don't have to be in all places at once. But for sure, I mean, red is gonna have opportunities to use um, all of their stacks here. So what happens? I mean, I like that actually. Um, yeah, okay, so you get the shield. Then I don't. I'm not sure how much I like this one. I mean, it is getting rid probably of some end game for red on the bottom. I mean, I guess there's this at some point maybe, but I mean, depends if red what it does. Using this for 3 is good, I think. You get more solid on the side. Then I guess Ali captured probably. Yep, I'm expecting that. Then probably you retreat and try to use. Well, maybe you do that. Mm, it is it is a shame though. Red could have like in these situations, if you play your 3 and the retreats in the center a bit earlier, then you can actually hold a bit. And but now I think nothing holds. Like it takes. Okay, then what do you do? Do you play h6? I think that's the best move. Maybe it depends if Ali answers. I feel like this is the wrong direction, but maybe I'm playing too dangerously. It would be bad to not defend the top more. Okay, that's definitely a slow move though. That is definitely a slow move. Uh, Maybe you don't want to give the 3. Let's say if it was red to play, red would have a 3 here and be super solid here. But I feel like takes. Yeah, this is good. It is a little bit risky, but well, I guess it's not too risky. Maybe, but I'm scared of. I would be scared of white playing here. Just getting behind this wall of 2s. Honestly, if white captures, then it's good. Yeah, it's good for red because you can get this. But then I think you're pretty much well, you're still technically ahead, but it really depends on the left. Like the left is really big. If red can just play b6 at some point, it's so or like maybe not b6, maybe b5 is better. Yeah, if you can play b5, it's so good. Or even c5. It's a 2. Yeah, but then okay, I'm expecting I don't know what I'm expecting actually. Can you go behind? Yeah, you can play this thing here. It's kind of annoying, but it's not too bad. Yeah, you can defend the cutting point. Which I guess the cutting point maybe wouldn't have been a problem in that case. I need to pay attention to the game now. So we didn't get capture. We got something. Okay, we got something in the bottom, which was okay. There was this cut. Um, there was this cut on N11. There. Then okay, you do this. It is decent. You don't need to play there though. I mean, maybe red is gonna answer, but you don't need to play there because white can't play there. This is actually connected without red playing there. And now as white, you can just ignore. So if you're white, then you can play m7, for example, or something. I think. Does that do anything? Maybe it's bad. I wonder if you can use it for some trouble later. Like you do this, and then you threaten the 2 here. It looks kind of scary, but maybe it's not too bad. Like in these kind of situations, I feel like it's good to anticipate that red has this line of sight here to get some really nice shields if the 2s are attacked. So maybe that's helpful, but well, white just play here, which is, it is slow. It is a 1 point move. 1 point move, and red correctly identified that the left was big. Now, I think that if you want to be a bit safer, you just play b5. Because I would be slightly scared of a4. If you notice, there's a red stack here, so there's no white move here. Um, but now there's a4. Does that do anything? It does look a bit scary. Maybe it doesn't do anything though. It is a little bit uncomfortable. I think that's probably something to do, but maybe not. I mean, we might get a bunch of stuff. I am aware that I'm just clicking through and not properly reading, but maybe I have time to properly read a little bit. Just don't want to fall behind too much. Okay, this feels like an important position, so I'm gonna go back to it. I feel like the last move by red means that probably red is going to be the one pushing for the win, which just means that white is going to have to do a lot of stuff exactly like this move, which is a really good move. I think it's a really good move. It is an annoying move, which is often a good quality of good moves. If your moves are annoying your opponents, then, well, you're already doing good. Because now there's a problem. You have this, and if you shield somewhere, then you have things, possibly this. Okay, I'm definitely expecting I3. We will see. This is going to be a bit bloody, maybe. So of course, red did something, but I think red was a little bit greedy here. Maybe not, because this is a big move. This is a big move for the left, the move that red just played. Wait, what did white play? Oh, red played this slow move. Ooh, I feel like that was a mistake. White, sorry. I feel like that was a mistake. I feel like you have to use all the madness before it's gone. The madness on the third line. So I feel like now, what happened in the game? They're a bit further along. Yeah, of course, I3 happened. But maybe it is a little bit late now. Then, okay, we have this 2 here. Then, honestly, if as red, the only thing that you lose is M9, it's completely fine. It is completely fine. This is not a double attack, so you're fine. Yeah, if you just lose this stack here, it is fine. You lost a couple points, but you got some big points on the left for it. So, but yeah, I feel like this is the most interesting area for white to try something. But maybe there's nothing. I'm not sure. But maybe, okay, then you do this. Okay, shield again, I guess. And then you don't have any shields anymore, but you can play, okay, can you live or something? Is there some mad thing? And this looks kind of alive, I guess. Yeah, maybe with 5 points or something. I'm saying 5 points because I mean, I'm not reading anything. Sorry. Sorry about that. But I'm thinking that maybe this is the shape that white is gonna get. I'm not sure. Depends. Maybe white can get more. Well, this is going to be a close ending. I feel. This is a close game. Yeah. I'm expecting something like that. So they are playing this variation. Of course, you have to shield. Do you have to shield? Yeah, are there some? There's some mad stuff where you can play this. Is that like unreasonable? Maybe. Well, you would lose a couple points in the yeah you would lose pretty much your wall. So maybe it's not advisable. I wouldn't play that. I would just shield probably. Yeah. Don't think shield, which is it often it's not a good idea to just not think and shield, but in this case, yeah, you can't really ignore that. The good thing with this shield is it also protects any attack along the H line that might arrive a bit later. But but this is an interesting position. I feel like we have a good endgame problem for white. If you just want to live, I think the move for white is just to play here, because then you control a bunch of, at least you control this shape here um, on top, and maybe you can get B1 or something. You can maybe cause some problems on the left. Maybe as red, you just play here, try to capture. I think this captures. This is yeah, maybe you try to capture. This is maybe the way to go. Oh, there is that. Yeah. Oof, that looks mean. That looks like a mean move. Now, is the 3 going to die? That is a good question. Is the 2 going to die? That is also a good question. Oh, you should not have done that actually. Wait, that's a good answer. I didn't. I completely overlooked that. Can you? What can you do as white now? Oh, I feel like that's a problem for white. White. Okay. White has to figure out. Ale has to figure out what to do now with this. You can't play d4. You can still play d1, which I think might be a good backup plan, but maybe it's too passive for his taste. The score estimator is all over the place, but yeah, it shouldn't be trusted because there's a ton of dead stones, dead stacks. I feel like white is winning. What is this? That is a slow move, I think. Is it? Seems like a slow move. Oh no, it's an answer. Okay. Okay, so this one, yeah, that I was talking about before, and then takes. But then takes is a bit annoying. Oh no, you lose so many points actually. That's annoying. Well, does that? Huh. Wait, actually, wait a minute. Do you? Wow, that just works. I think. Have to be careful not to play too fast, but yeah, is that what happened? Okay, that's what's happening at least for now. Takes, then, but then you have this too. But maybe it's a move that's hard to see. I don't know. Feels natural, but maybe a little bit tricky because you have to realize that you can allow this. Yeah, now I think 09 is the only way to save the side. But wait, what am I saying? You can't save the side. Well, you can save a couple points on the side. Well, I mean, you could save the side if you can then come back to do something else. Like, okay, white does something else, and then you can come back and get a 3 here. It does seem pretty slow though. I think white is winning. I think white is winning, but it's a bit unclear. If white lives on top, for sure, white wins. Um, if it looks like that, yeah, I think for sure white wins. But white probably has to play d1 because if that's a really important move that they're not playing. Okay, n8 is I think the wrong move, but it is a bit hard to read. Yeah, n8, then yeah, then okay, that's something, but I don't think it does anything. Actually, I well, okay, you have to defend. Yeah, I don't think it does anything. It's just because can you really do anything with white here? Can you really live? Maybe you can play this. I don't know. Eh, no, I don't know. I'm just kicking, but just thinking what white can do. Because if you want to live on the right, then well, good luck. I mean, it is kind of hard to live on the right. I think, unless I'm mistaken. Maybe this. Maybe that's something, but you can then. Mm, not sure. I would have to read properly. Yeah, that feels like H1 is too good. Then maybe you can use that in some way to get this one. Could be okay. And then you can reinforce whenever you want. Okay, you can't do that, but that was a good try. It is a real problem for white that there's this white red link on the second line. It is a bit annoying for living purposes. So shield. I'm gonna check if I'm still up to speed. I am still up to speed. Unfortunately, I might not be able to stay until the end of this game, but I think it's a white victory. I would be surprised if it's not a white victory. Let me think. As red, maybe just blocking this nasty d4 from before would have been enough. Uh, I would have to count a bit more. D3, is that a thing? Oh, D3, it was D3, not D4. My bad. Yeah, blocking this move was probably a good idea. Where do you block? Maybe just here. It's a bit depressing, but maybe you just play D4 off. The D3 feels a bit better. Sorry, G6 feels a bit better. But then probably you give up a bunch of points on the left. Like probably uh, the problem of this game for red comes back to a bit earlier when red was in the center and red could have played some moves that enabled a smoother retreat. But then, yeah, that was also the right stuff where the moves on the bottom for red were dubious, I think, because what did red get? Um, so red got this, which is going to die mostly, uh, probably, and some kind of curling around, but like here, yeah, some points on the side. But you could have gotten something much more solid with M8, some moves before. What is happening? This takes, and then that. Okay. Um, but then as white, you just play O10. Well, do you play O10 actually? I'm not sure. It depends because then you can come back and kill this thing. That's probably bigger things to do. White, what did white do? Yeah, that's. I mean, I think this is okay. But yeah, maybe white does this. I don't know if it's needed. Uh, I am not sure if it's needed, but it might be needed later. Yeah, that's a good move. I mean, it prevents any kind of thing from leaving. I mean, it can live maybe with maybe you can make something alive with a couple points, but it disconnects, which cannot be bad. Okay. Okay, but here I feel like red could have done something bigger. Because what is red doing with this? Red is removing a stack that was really not doing too much, I think. I mean, okay, there's this move. But so like if you play elsewhere, okay, let's just say you do something else, then maybe you can be scared of that. But why would you be scared of that? Maybe to get something on the side for white, like sacrificing. I'm not sure. What? Yeah, I don't think there was any. And you could even capture here as red. Yeah, exactly. That's a good move by white. Yeah, this is definitely small. Um, you're not gaining too much as red. So then as white, you can play this move, which looks funny, but it is a good move. You could play here. I mean, it is okay. I feel like it would be much easier for white to play d1 because this is kind of a convoluted way of going about it. Um, no, the game. Okay, the game is hard for red. I mean, it is lost. I think. Yeah, it does look lost, but you would have to prevent. You would have to find a way to um, deal with white d1. But instead, capturing this is very small, and you could have done this, maybe just this, yeah, and then red actually dies. I think this is yeah. This is going to be 5 points at least, like I said. I think. I mean, you get c2, which is good as red, but then as white you get yeah, you get this one. Uh, well, you can shield. Okay, okay. If white only gets 5 points, maybe there's a way that red can get enough points on the left, but I doubt that. I think it is pretty much done. You are kind of waiting as red. You're kind of waiting to play here. Um, sure, but I feel like you can get the same result by shielding. I mean, a better result actually. Because if you're, what are you worried about? Yeah, because then as what you just capture. Yeah, this is solid play by Ale. Solid, just yeah, taking the invasions. Yeah, taking the invasion and taking like 9 points at least, more actually. You get some points on the side here. I guess 12. Depends who plays, but you probably get 12 points. Wait, where are we? Okay, here takes. Yeah, takes. Then it's white's turn, so white can get more points by playing this one. Um, yeah. Was that needed? I mean, maybe it was needed. Yeah. Yeah, it was completely needed. It was completely bad. My move was completely bad because then yeah, you just lose a bunch of stuff. Yeah, that's I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. maybe this was a better result for white. I'm not sure. I mean, it depends. Depends if white gets the right, but you lose 2 points, but you win 2 points here, and maybe you win more. So defense. So now red has a chance to do something. Um, maybe you can capture I3. That seems big. Maybe you can. It would be. I feel like your best shot at getting points is to play here. Like you try to get something on the bottom. Then you have to parry somewhere, I guess. And then you can try to get this maybe. Uh, yeah, this. Yeah, then you get some points on the left. Like try to use the because you have to use these things before they get completely enclosed. No, but that is small. Wait, sorry, that's the other one. The other one is I'm pretty sure small. Well, I will unfortunately have to go, but thanks everyone for tuning in. And I feel like this was a very eventful game. There were certainly opportunities for whites to cause problems earlier in red's shape, and there were opportunities for red to save it a bit before. But in the end, we got a pretty nice invasion. I feel like the invasion on d3 was a really good move. Just taking advantage of the weaknesses of the red twos in the center. Okay, well, thanks to everyone for making it to the end, and I hope this game was entertaining. Um, I know I didn't read super properly, but I hope it was still instructive and interesting to follow. And see you next time for a lot of interesting matches that we have coming up.